A few days ago I made a video covering some ideas for Technoblade's origin that could be used in the Origin SMP. And today is going to be no different. Today we're going to be covering more ideas that I have found within the Reddit, as well as other people have pointed out to me in the comment section down below of the last video that I feel like should get more attention. But before that, if you're new around here, it'd be highly appreciated if you hit the subscribe button down below, because honestly it does help me out. We're trying to hit 10k before the end of the month, and if you don't want to do that, just hit the like button. That's always useful. Either way, enough shilling, let's get into the video. The first one we're going to be looking at is called Vassal of the Blood God. As an acolyte of the Blood God, your species savors the euphoria of battle, bringing death, despair, and disunion to all who would defy his word. Pros of this origin is Vine Leech. Every kill of any type grants 15 seconds of Strength 1, which continuously stacks, adding 15 seconds more to the timer. The Bloodometer, a blood meter which is filled by killing various different creatures. Entities such as cows give the lowest amount of blood, and hostile mobs give the second, and players give the most amount of blood. Bloodbath is an active skill that has a similar function to a creeper explosion but does not damage blocks. A single use of the Bloodbath requires 1/3 of the blood meter. Vassal of the Blood God, an active skill that requires your blood meter to be entirely full. The Blood God briefly gives you a minuscule part of the power, granting you similar effects to eating an enchanted golden apple. Upon activation, all players within a 20 block diameter square suffer slowness 1. You are gifted with speed 1, strength 2, and jump boost for 1 minute. After of which you lose these abilities and your blood meter is completely empty. Last but not least, we have Blood Sacrifice, which consumes the entire blood meter as well. In a Blood Rage Fury, you ask the Blood God for reinforcements in exchange for a hefty amount of blood. In turn, he summons a Piglin Brute to assist you. The cons: Flesh Fanatic. Your body only permits meat into your body and has a faster metabolism in comparison to the average Minecraft player. Anarchy. If a player hasn't been killed within a Minecraft week, you will be purged by the god. Live for the combat. If you have not killed an entity within 10 minutes, you will start taking damages similar to drowning. Tools other than swords and axes will be 1.5 times slower than normal due to your knack for combat and your disinterest into anything else. The next origin idea is the Evolved Pigman. A race that once existed on the overworld, cursed by the twisted powers of the Nether, until one came and revitalized their species. Now once again they can tread the overworld with safety and sanity intact, but the core of the Nether will always ring to them. Those of the Wither and Necromancy seek to undo them. Running through the pros, you have Opera Strength. You deal high damage from all sources and can break stone with your bare fists. Regenerative, you'll heal 2.5 times faster from saturation than the average Minecraft player. Determined Warrior, you gain Strength 1 after taking 6 hearts of damage. And Oddish Endurance, you have 2 additional hearts. Running through the neutral abilities, you got Cursed Bloodline. Upon entering the Nether, you'll have a breather timer. Once expired, you'll take half a heart of damage per second, shake, and obtain Strength 1. And if you stay in the Nether long enough, you'll end up activating the Determined Warrior effect, turning it into Strength 2. As well as Efficient Blood Flow. Both potions and debuffs will last 30 seconds longer on you, which is essentially both a positive and a negative depending. The cons of this mod is the large appetite. You exhaust much more quickly than others, thus requiring you to eat more. Magic Dependency. Soulfire, Poison, and Hunger deal 2 times more damage than normal. Fragile Life Force. Withering deals 2.5 times damage, and Weakness deals half a heart of damage per second per level. And Totems of Undying will also fail to save all your levels that you may lose if you die, making you lose half of your levels each time you trigger a totem. And Heretical Origins. Villagers are scared of you by default. Rolling into the next origin, we have the Phoenix origin. Running through the pros and cons, we got the pros of Flight. Has red and gold phoenix wings. Ascend. Can launch into the air every 30 seconds when the player is at full size. Gliding. Slow fall and higher jump when the player is at half size. Radiant Call. Can fully heal all players and mobs within a 12 block radius every 2 minutes. And Hellos Blessing. Under direct sunlight, the player has 20% increased speed on land, and in the air, they remain at normal speed in the water. Running through the neutral effects, we have Rebirth. At the full size, the player has 5 hearts. Only in this form they can use Flight and Ascend. If they die, they will not lose their items or respawn. Instead, they'll shrink to their reborn form. This form is 1 block tall, uses Glide, and only has 3 hearts. The player returns to full size if they die in the young form or at sunrise. And then Rejuvenation. At sunrise, the player will return to the normal size if they were at a smaller size beforehand. Running down the cons, we've got Landing. Takes more kinetic damage when at full size. Golden Diet. All foods restore 2 hunger in one situation except for golden apples and golden carrots. And God apples, which function like they normally would. covered. We have Fiery Death. If the player dies for the final time, everything within a 2-block radius ignites, potentially causing major fires and loss of dropped items. Of course, Netherite and other non-flammable items will not be destroyed. Water weakness. Unless they are in direct sunlight, the player has a 20% decreased speed in the water. They remain at normal speed if they're under the sun. And fewer hearts. Only 8 hearts overall. At full size, the player has 5 hearts and 3 hearts at the half size. And the person who created this origin has also got a massive list of further information going into more detail about everything around this. I won't talk about it here, but I'll leave it in the link in the description for you, as always, for you to go check out yourself. The next origin that I'll be covering today is another wither-based origin. This one doesn't have any specific name or abbreviation to the origin itself, aside from just being a wither-based origin. Running through the list of effects this one here, because it's not organized by pros and cons, unfortunately. When he is near his spawn point, he can swap through different effects gained by beacons, since wither drop never stars that are used in beacons. Beacon effects are 2 times as strong. The chance of a wither skull dropping when he kills a wither skeleton is increased by however much. Is not attacked by wither skeletons or witches unless he attacks them first, kinda similar to how a wolf will work. When below 5 hearts, is immune to ranged damage, including bows and other things like a starball gun and anything that requires ranged damage. Naturally will have soul speed 3 even without the boots, and gains hearts from armor. Leather is 1, iron and chain equals 3 hearts, gold gives you 5 bonus hearts, and diamond is 7 bonus hearts, and netherite is 10 bonus hearts. Running through some ideas suggested by you guys in the comment section of the last video, we have an origin idea by Starhole version 2, with no direct name to the actual origin itself. Running through the pros and cons, pros of which we have Undying. Whenever you take damage while having more than half a heart, your HP cannot drop below half a heart. You also have 3 more maximum hearts. Potion Maker. Whenever you make a potion, it immediately becomes a thrown potion, saving you the gunpowder. Potatoes. You harvest an additional potato for each stack of potatoes in your inventory. And always ready. A primary ability, you sacrifice a stack of carrots and gain a stack of golden carrots. Cooldown 10 minutes. Running through the cons, we have emotional support. You get slowness 1 and knockback 1 and weakness 1 if there is no tamed animal or polar bear within proximity of 20 blocks of you. Debuff applied after 2 minutes. Flawed plan. Withers always prioritize attacking you. Intimidating posture. You are slightly larger than normal, exactly 2 blocks tall, so you can walk through the doors but cannot crouch underneath half slabs. It also directly affects your hitbox. An ancient fighting style. Your attacks deal a tiny bit more damage, assuming swords, but your axe will deal half damage and cannot disable shields. Another good suggestion I saw in the comments of the last video, we have an origin for a vampire for Technoblade. Running through the pros and cons, the cons of you can't eat any food and you will also burn in the daylight. Pros of which is killing a living animal restores your hunger to full. Only animals which bleed, so not undead mobs, blazes and golems, etc. I recommend carrying around eggs for emergency chicken. Hunger lasts longer than usual and you'll heal quickly when you're full. You'll also have night vision. You'll also increase your move, jump and attack speed, and you can turn into a bat. While in bat form, you cannot interact with anything, damage, build or mine anything, and you do not have any armor, and you can fly. You don't burn during the day and you get hungry slightly faster. We have now made to the end of the video, so I ask you formally to hit the subscribe button in the comment down below, and if you have any ideas you want me to cover in another video following this one, put it in the comment section down below. But either way, I'm going back to the dark place which I once came. Either way, goodbye.